Hi Judd, how's it going? I hope I'm not bothering you too much. Sorry if I am. But uh, basically, I realized that the last time I sent this to you, I didn't actually send you the proper configs, like even in here in on the Google Drive, like whatever it is in here, are not the ones from OCIO Gen, the ones I made with this. So I'm just sorry about it. Uh, but basically, just to get straight right into the point, right? Like there have been some issues with the transfer. That's basically like when I baked it. For example, in here I started having you know way bigger clip, and I know this were like rarely visible, but oh yeah, in here you can see it. So these were basically like the problems which I was having when I was trying to make it myself. Now I realized one more thing. I'll kind of basically in a way talk about it. So the one more thing which I realized is that, well, I'll show you my OpenDRT afterwards from the OCIO agent, is when I was checking the OCIO from Chris. It had another transform in here which I was kind of missing. And maybe at first, this is like the first question for me, which is maybe in a way the most important one, which is like, how do I even make the inverse cube? I know that this is incredibly, stupid question, and I just kind of don't know how to make it and do it. But I realized that this is what you most likely need for it. And then there's one more thing with OCIO Gen, which I'll also show you. But yeah, that's basically like the first thing first, which I might get into. Is like I just don't know how to bake it properly. But that's just me and my skill issue. But like in a way, this is also one of the most important things when it comes to OpenDRT. Because like if I'll give you an example, right? I've got like aces, aces 2 in here. I can't be changing those, right? So I can do that with OpenDRT, which is completely amazing, and I love it. Like in here, I've got some custom preset which I made. It's random. Then let's say I create a new one, right? That there's not that much of a difference between them, but this is generally like a pretty low data example, in comparison with a basic one. So let's say I put it together like this. I've got my, custom random preset in here. Okay, it's amazing name, isn't it? And I want to bake it, right? So I create a CMS pattern. I stack things, to the max, as high as it can go. I put the oDRT in here, and then I generate LUT on a max values again. No, here's kind of the point that I wanted to ask you about, which is at the moment I've got my custom ASUS CG so-called V20, OCIO config. Now I'm not really sure which one I'm supposed to be using for the baking process in this step, basically, right? Like, can I just run on nuke default and bypass, or like, or can I even run on a custom bar, or do I have to pre-generate the OCIO, which is, coming from the OCIO gen already for this step and part? I'm just not quite sure about this step. So this is like first question. The second question is, let's say this one actually came as well. It was rendered with ASUS Duo, so it's ASUS CG. Now, the second question which I have is not really going to be, very visible in here. But like, should I set a gamut in here to ASUS CG? Like, I would preferably, like to avoid gamut of like any aces for aces reasons, and just run either on 2020 or 709. But I noticed that what Chris has done is that he's run it through and you've done the same thing, is just run it through the T-log A E gamut in this regard. So I'm just like not sure whether in here I should like select any proper so-called log space. I don't know, E gamut to like whatever for the generation of the lot, right? That's basically like my question. I believe that like it might be visible here since it's more data. Like if I'll just switch to eGamma 2, it like changes drastically in this regard. So this is like basically the question: which gamut should I select? That's the second question when it comes to this for the baking process. And the third one is how can I actually create the inverse, which my bad, the inverse pod which Chris had in it, because like I had some preset in here, and I think I stick with this one. Not even sure if I did stick with this one. Like I'm being honest, I'm not really an expert in this, so I was just like trying to do whatever just to hopefully make it transfer. I need OCIO v2 for Houdini reasons, because I need to add a bunch of stuff myself, like rules and whatnot to it, because they've got a bit of a tech debt when it comes to so-called color spaces. But yeah, that's basically the point, because there is a composing log, right? And without a composing log, you're not able to generate it. So I guess that maybe like I can generate one with composing linear, which might actually be the first one. It might be the color space transform, and then the composing log. I'm compositing. I'm sorry. So I'm just not sure which ones to select in here. I wouldn't even mind like Rec 709 or Rec 2020. Quite frankly, I don't care. Whichever space it will be, I just want it to work, and transfer. So that's basically kind of the point, like just knowing what to check where. And once I do that, right, it generates me the config. Initially, it looks something like this, right? And this is basically what it gives you. This is like, ooh, get a from reference group transform, and it gives me source from reference, and it goes into film light e gamut 2 linear. I don't remember whatever the hell I was selecting in here. What I was doing, which isn't probably the most suiting part for this, was that I just simply deleted it, and it got kind of close to it, but it still wasn't really working. There have been the clipping issues with it and so on. So that's basically like the thing. I actually baked it on 2020. This was actually like the thing which I kind of wanted to ask you about, which is how to actually what I think is the last step, just like finish it in the OCIO config myself. Like I don't even mind adding the last couple of lines of code in here myself. It's basically the easiest part, right? Isn't it? I'll have to change it either way. So add my rules and whatnot in here, and maybe even aliases. Aliases as well, to make it Houdini CG friendly. But these were basically the questions I wanted to ask you. Just how to generate it. I don't mind generating
the OCIO and tweaking it and doing everything myself. That's actually like kind of the part that I'm the most interested in. So yeah, if you maybe, I don't know, took a while to just like share with me the how to, I would be incredibly grateful for that. So yeah, that's basically it. So thank you so much. I'm sorry if it gets too long. And yeah, that's about it.
Also, this is like one of the last things which I forget to mention. I'm sorry about it. Um, but when it comes to presets, I quite frankly don't mind just simply running on sRGB display only. It's like I don't really need anything more than this. But like when it comes to the backend, it's maybe like regarding the inverse and so on, and like should you actually like let's say you actually need a film light e gamut for the log space to you know to create to create a proper oDRT look. So uh, this is like the thing, like for the first step, which Chris had in there, which is lin XYZ to T-log E gamut. Um, should you actually run it in linear here, or which I probably guess the most likely you should. And like for the second part, for the for the inverse part, should you switch back to to the transform, which is the sRGB display, or this is basically like the first thing first, which I think I'm basically in a way missing the most. And also, what I think wasn't quite clear was, just the simple part in here, which is like when it comes from, let's say this one is ACES should I just, go here, OCIO color space, drop it, and let's say I had which I don't have because I don't have the proper OCIO in this case. Well, let's say that this is in ACES and I'm putting it into the, film light gamut. Should I just drop the OCIO color space in here and, I'm gonna use, the ASUS G6 2065 one in here just as an example, should I just like convert it to the log space up front if I'm using the Filmlight E gamut? And it's just like maybe just like really one minor part which I wanted to ask as well, because like and just like the couple of things which I'm missing out on. Because like in here it goes from in gamut to XYZ. Maybe I can press invert in here. Uh, yeah, that's just like a couple of things which I'm missing out on still. That just might be the inverse part actually. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.